No. I'm waiting for this. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Livestream. This week we are talking about, well, should you restream? And we're gonna talk about that, define it, stretch it out, maybe kind of go back and forth about it a little bit. But we have a special guest on from a company called Restream. You can find them over at restream.io. And guys, if you have not already been able to visit that, you are going to have a chance today. We're going to walk you through a couple of maybe some of the features, some of the reasons why you should be doing it. But we really want to have a discussion. So right off the bat, I want you, if you're watching us live, please do us a favor and share this out. We'd really appreciate it because we think that this is a topic that almost everybody in live streaming should be talking about, or at least be thinking about and considering. And so that's the first thing. And as we get right into it, and you know what, let's bring up the rules. Let's get right into the rules and talk about it, because this is not only a live stream show, this is also a Twitter chat. And there are people anxiously waiting on Twitter. They are already tweeting. And no, but in all seriousness, this is a show that is, we live stream a Twitter chat. We talk about live streaming while we live stream and tweet about it. And so when you're tweeting or live streaming or sharing this out, just use the hashtag Let's Live Stream. And that way we're able to find each other and know what everybody's talking about. We do post 6 questions. This is a 6-question Twitter chat. And so when you post a reply or anything like this and you're answering a question, just use A1, A2, A3, et cetera, et cetera. And because we're on Twitter and on Periscope, and actually we just added within the last couple of episodes here, we've added Facebook, and you are able to find us over on Twitter over at Let's Livestream, on Periscope at Let's Livestream, and over on our Facebook page, actually, which is part of our group, and that's over at livetalknation.com. But in the last rule that we have, it really is pretty simple and very straightforward, guys. We hope that you learn something in every episode that we have. I hope you really do have a really fun time, and that you are able to share this out with your community. So without any further ado, what I would love to do, I'd love to bring Randy on, and we'd be able to talk and just give you a chance to introduce yourself and to tell everybody about you. Hey, Randy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. My name is Randy. I've been at Restream for about a year now. It's funny because I actually started as a pseudo volunteer when I messaged one of the founders through the live chat. And I've joined the team, and I'm the head of customer service now, or community support. So if you see us on our live chat, on Twitter, on Discord, on Facebook, pretty much anywhere, you'll find me replying to people, trying to make sure everybody understands how to stream and gets all their questions answered.
So your job is to make the world turn.
Yes, make the multi-stream world turn.
Yeah, that's not, you can do that. I know you got it. So I'm just in full disclosure to everybody, guys, this is a Twitter chat. I've already sent these questions to Randy. He already knows exactly what questions I'm going to ask. And let's see if, as we're going through this, that we can't maybe trip him up a little bit. But I think Randy, I think he's pretty much on the ball with this, because you're in the industry. You're not just a hired hand. You're actually in live streaming. I've seen you be able to live stream, and it's not just simply like you have a phone, you have a Periscope account or something like that. Like, you're in it. You understand what people's needs are and how to help them. And because, this is a really ever-changing, landscape of users and the tech. But I don't think everybody quite understands, though, what multi-streaming is and really what does it accomplish and kind of how does it work. But I don't mean like on the tech side, but kind of moving right into question 1, because it just posted. But would you just tell everybody, like, what is multi-streaming and how does it work for you?
Well, multi-streaming is probably the best way to describe multi-streaming is being able to connect with all your audience on multiple different platforms without the need to limit yourself to just one platform. I'm not going to say specific platform names, but there are a lot of platforms out there for streaming. In fact, at Restream, we support over 30 different streaming platforms. So and that's not even all of them. So there's quite a plethora of streaming services that you can definitely choose from. And a lot of them are, especially the popular ones, we find users just have trouble getting noticed. And they have this trouble getting noticed because there's so many streamers, say, playing League of Legends or something like that, where your stream just starting out is only at 2 or 3 viewers, tends to be all the way near the bottom. But by allowing these broadcasters to stream to these multiple destinations, to reach the entire audience at once, we give them this ability to have an organic growth that wouldn't otherwise be possible without having to pay for advertising or pay for server management or all this stuff. We're just offering it for you for free. We're saying, hey, listen, you want to be a streamer. We want to get you to that audience. Don't worry about having to say, hey, I'm here. I'm on this platform. Come watch me. You're going to be on every platform. And people will find you either via the main lists on the platform that you're on, or maybe they'll find you on Twitter because you could stream to Periscope or Facebook. And that's really what multi-streaming is. It's allowing streamers to connect to an audience without having to say, like, put the arms up in the air and say, I'm on this platform, I'm at this link, kind of thing.
So one of the things that I like about multi-streaming is that you only have to do, for the most part, you only have to do something once. Mm-hmm. You know, we've thought about multi-streaming when you go to like a lot of the mobile platforms. You know, we've seen it where people have to have like 75 devices in front of them, and they're all trying to turn them all on and trying to read all the comments. And you know, services like yours, like Restream, you know, and they kind of bring it together. Like I only really have to be able to talk into my one camera or you know through the one setup, and Restream just really just takes care of the rest of it. It makes sure that the broadcast that you know that you put your time and effort into, and to be honest, I mean, you know, a lot of people that use Restream, they're not professional like broadcasters in a formal sense. Like they have a sit down show, and they're doing artwork. They're broadcasting games. They're doing cooking show. I mean, they're just doing a lot of not boring or not traditional or not very structured things. They're going out and they're telling a story, and they're just using your platform to help them go to wherever their audience is. That's pretty fair to say, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what we strive for too. We don't want multi-streaming before Restream was complex. You needed to have a broadcaster that would stream to multiple places at once, which I believe XSplit only just started supporting not that long ago. And I believe OBS can do it with plugins. And you'd have to have a beefy computer, and you'd have to know your network speeds and latency and all that stuff. And really what we did at Restream is we tried to simplify all that. Our dashboard is easy as pie to use. You can add channels in seconds. And then when you go live, we work on delivering that stream to your audience. We give you a live chat. We get all of those messages from all those platforms in that one place. And it just allows anybody, whether you're a techie person or you're just blogging from your phone, we allow you the ability to just like that. You're set up, you're ready to multi-stream on every platform.
Nice. I like that, because you really did actually take it almost from the user end. What is my perspective? What is my need, and not in, well, this is what you're going to need down the road. I mean, you've built some features in it, and we'll have a chance a little bit later on in the broadcast to actually talk about some of the features that that Restream has, or maybe it's like some of the things that maybe set it apart. I'm just kind of giving you the audience some hints of maybe what we might be talking about.
What might happen
eventually.
Right?
But I mean, it does when broadcasting. We really do. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Some people are really only mobile. That is the only way that they're going to broadcast. They want a very simplistic. They want a very end to end. kind of experience where people, they see the bumps and the, and the camera jitter and things like this.
Mhm.
That's what they want. Other people, they want something that's it's a reliable stream. They're able to broadcast quite a bit more, like a lot of moving parts, kind of like this show. We've got multiple camera, we've got lower thirds, we've got screenshots, and it is nice to know that like Restream can handle that.
Mhm.
What have you guys done, now? How are you, maybe this is a better way to ask, is like, how are you guys, trying to accommodate both ends of the users? Are you guys, trying to develop new tech, or is it just really trying to refine what you have?
Well, absolutely, we're trying to, we're listening to feedback all the time. We're working with our users. As you know, we have the live chat on our website. So a lot of users are contacting us over there, and we really do see that divide of somebody who is an IRL streamer. They're out with their phone. They don't know bit rates and all that stuff. They've got the plan and they just want to stream. And we also have those users who they want to know their ping. They want to know their bit weight, their frame, their key interval. They want to know their ingestion, their buffer, everything. They want to know inside and out. And we actually do try to provide features like that with our users. Just last month, we launched the Restream Monitor. What this does is it allows you, when you're streaming to Restream, we'll show you every single piece of data that we're getting from your broadcaster, the encoding, what profile you're on, everything that it's sending us. And then we also show you everything that we're sending out to other channels. So that way, if you are that techie person, you can super easily look in there, figure out your problem right away, and then jump back into streaming. Or if you're not a techie person, you can jump in your live chat. I have access to all that information as well. And you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to walk you through everything. I'm going to tell you what bitrate is. I'm going to tell you why it affects your stream. We're going to talk about network caps and bandwidth caps. And really, hopefully, by the end of the chat, you're the next Restream Pro user. And next time when you have a problem, you'll be jumping into the monitor and solving it yourself instead of needing to jump into the live chat.
Man, that was honestly, that was a really good answer. That was right on. Like, I'm like, yeah, I wanted to highlight one of the questions that one of the comments that came up, because as you were talking, Terry Johnson, when you find her on Twitter, is WebGirl TJ. She says, I love that Restream gives you so many tools to help with multi-streaming, and that you guys are, I mean, I know she's a user. I know. Mm-hmm. She's telling me, but
I've seen her.
I like, and Terry, she's a longtime listener, and she's actually one of the admins over at Live Talk Nation, and she knows live stream, and she understands like the integration with social, and and how it puts together, and I think that kind of comment, I think it really is, that's just the whole, that's a lot of people's experience. They like that Restream just has a lot of different types of they have a lot of different tools, and that it's not inaccessible. You guys are actually helping the users be able to further understand. And I wanted to bring this up because you had mentioned, you help a lot of your subscribers in a number of different places. You've got email support, you've got a community. What are some of the ways that people can reach out to you guys?
So when I first joined the team, we were accepting support requests via Facebook, Twitter, and our live chat. Since then, since I've joined the team, we've actually worked hard to create a separate Twitter, which is @Restream Helps. This Twitter is actually run by the amazing volunteers in our Discord channel. That was another thing, our Discord server. That was another thing that that we brought to the team. Sorry, once I joined. And what we did with the Discord server is we really tried to, and what we're still trying to do, is create a community. Because we find that the best way to become a multi-streamer is jump on restream.io, set up your channels. But to actually get into that multi-streaming community, to make some friends, to make some collaborators, you need to have a community. And it's just not possible when you're tweeting directly at me and I'm replying, or you're in our live chat. So that's exactly what we aim to do with our Discord. We have like, hey, I'm streaming channel where you can tell people that you're streaming, or we have a looking to play if you're looking to play some games. And ever since starting this, we've actually seen a huge increase in the amount of community engagement, not only on our additional social channels, but just within the Discord community alone. We've even had some users who have been promoted to volunteer moderators or volunteer admins of the server tell us that users actually join our Discord and are able to jump into a community that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to find. And then suddenly they're getting 15, 20, 100, 200 viewers on their stream because, hey, there's this really popular streamer who also plays that game. And now that you guys have connected over the Discord, I'm gonna raid you, or I'm gonna host your channel. And with these things, we just hope that we can really build a community, just like you guys are doing over at Let's Livestream. You're really trying to build a community of live streamers, from tech insiders, industry leaders, down to streamers, mobile streamers, gamers, everything. And we're really trying to do the same thing, but on our Discord with the multi-streaming base, just bringing people together.
One of the questions that we have coming up, and you really segued perfectly right into it. It was, and you've been kind of answering it. We were asking, I think it's question number 2. We're asking, how does multi-streaming benefit broadcasters? And we've started to kind of talk about that in a that it connects broadcasters together. But what are maybe from as you're building the product, and I know specifically, you're helping users understand Restream as a product, but how is that actually now benefiting the broadcasters, maybe outside of like the gaming community, or maybe just giving some examples other than that?
So with broadcasters coming and joining Restream, 99% of them, like, we get the very few 1% who were multi-streaming before they joined Restream. They had their own rig. They were working hard at trying to stream just to 2 places, sending out 10,000 bit rate, 5,000 to each. But the 99% of the majority who comes to Restream are people who are just looking to find their audience. So as I was saying a bit earlier, having a community with Discord and having the ability to multi-stream to so many channels at once, it really allows people the ability to connect with audiences in ways that it just wouldn't be possible before. I'm just trying to think about that question a little bit more. So mainly what we try to do is, when people join into Restream and they jump into our live chat, we actually close every single conversation with, if you need more help, talk to us on Twitter, Facebook, and join our Discord. So we're always constantly inviting people to that Discord to get them in, to get them promoting, to get them streaming. In fact, we actually, last week, we had a couple of people join our Discord who hadn't multi-streamed before. And it was really interesting seeing the volunteers and other people from the community talk about, they talked about how to stream, how to do your stream setup. There was some conversation on how to actually set up your room, debates between green screens versus a living background like you have, Jonathan. And it's just really interesting to see that, because it's communication that you would have never seen before. Personally, I was streaming before I joined Restream. I streamed over on Twitch, and then eventually I found Restream and started streaming on Twitch and what used to be Beam and now Mixer. I was streaming to those 2 channels. And the one thing that I found after I was able to grow my own community by myself is I didn't know anything. I didn't know that there was better microphones. I was using my headset mic. I didn't know that my microphone being so close to my keyboard was annoying for audience. I didn't know that I was having audio issues. And being able to be in a community and have those people instantly join your stream and just be like, hey, your audio is a little wonky. This is how you can fix it. That's the most amazing thing that I've ever heard. Because 90% of the time, your audio is broken, 2 hours of figuring out how to figure it later, angry, rage quit stream.
Right. And that is one of the things that I think that live stream, more than almost anything else, I mean, if you take away, broader reach, and all those kinds of stuff like this, I think that live stream just does that thing. It brings people together in a community in a sense that they wouldn't otherwise. Because when I see your face, it's one thing, honestly, like, it's one thing to see someone's Twitter, Instagram, or like whatever, right? But it's another thing when you're doing something and they reach out to you and they're like, hey, your audio's a little bit off. And it's not because they're trying to be critical, but because they're actually trying to help. They legitimately want to see you do better. That is amazing. That is one of the reasons why this is one of the reasons why I've stayed in live stream. because it's different. I mean, it's different than, networking groups. It's a bit different than just like your friends that are like down the street or like in your neighborhood or like whatever, geographically. You can make a difference using live stream, and people love to help each other. I don't know if you've seen that or not, right?
Oh,
People love to help
all
each
the
other.
time.
Yeah.
And
So
it's really amazing because it makes people feel like exactly what you're saying about live streaming. Just like personally speaking, going from being a YouTube creator and creating YouTube content and video content and coming over to doing live stream, it's mind altering because it's like you're used to making a YouTube video and going through, like when you're first getting out, you're used to making a YouTube video and getting 2 likes and no comments, right?
mhm.
Then you jump over to live streaming and suddenly you have somebody who's literally right there, right now, watching you. And you can just be like, hey man, what's up? Oh, not much. Like that first communication I ever had when I was live streaming, it was like, this is a new game. The field has changed.
Mhm. And by the way, if you guys haven't already and you're not already on Periscope, there is a really lively discussion going on over on Periscope. And even so, it's like one of your Discord members, they're over there. You guys are talking. I love it. I love to see everybody what they're talking about. And they're going back and forth already talking about Twitch and partnering and affiliates. I love it. And that to me is exactly a case of what are some of the benefits of being able to broadcast out? Well, you're able to draw in your audience and being able to, being able to respond, because most of the Facebook audience that watches the show, they don't actually get to see a lot of this, but we kind of cross over some of those features and stuff like that, and being able to bring together some of the different types of chat. And for Restream, actually, could we ask you, and this is question number 3, which is, what is the biggest feature coming from Restream? But I'm going to actually tweak it a little bit. I'm going to give you a chance. Would you tell us maybe some of the other more popular features, or something that's really beneficial as a feature that Restream is or has done? And then maybe you could tell us like what maybe something that Restream's getting ready to do. I don't know. I'm just going to give you as much room and latitude that you can say, and go from there.
Absolutely. Honestly, I would say that the biggest feature that we've released recently, and that's already released, would definitely be our monitor, the Restream Monitor. We've had such amazing feedback from the Restream Monitor because people, the first people who really did it was Twitch. They released their Twitch monitor where you can see all your incoming traffic. And for us to release not only the ability to see all your incoming traffic, all your outgoing traffic, all the cross traffic, how it's crossing across our own cloud platform. And we've just heard some amazing feedback. Like I've been able to increase my stream 10 times. The quality's gotten from okay to amazing, just because I'm using the data that you guys are showing me, and I'm Googling and checking out OBS forms and XSplit forms, and I'm seeing that, I can push my network a little harder. I can push my encoding a little harder. So that's definitely something that we've seen from the Restream Monitor, which has just been amazing. Now, for a feature that's coming out and is in beta currently, it's in beta for our pro users, as we always invite our pro users to be in all our betas, is a feature that we've actually heard crazy requests for. And now a lot of gaming streamers, which do use our platform quite a bit, some of them may find this feature useful, but a lot of people who are finding this feature useful are events, rallies, churches, even stuff like this show that you guys are doing here. If you say you guys are live every single day at Wednesday at 3 p.m., you can't be live next Wednesday because somebody's giving birth or there's like something emergency, you got to leave the office. With the new feature that we're coming out with, it's actually called Restream Schedule. So what you can do in advance is you can sit down, you can do the Let's Livestream podcast, have the whole thing recorded. Then you can jump on restream.io and you can upload that video or that podcast to our servers. And then what we'll do is we'll let you schedule when you want it to go live, and then you can relax, and we'll set that video live to all your connected channels at the same time. So really what we're doing is we're allowing people to take the VOD replay and to make it live on a schedule. Being able to keep that consistency really helps bring users up, and it really helps with that word that I keep using, organic growth, or I guess 2 words. And it really does allow that organic growth because anybody will tell you, any live streamer will tell you that consistency is key. Even YouTubers, any creator everywhere, you have to be consistent. You have to stick to a schedule, or people don't know when you're posting. And once they don't know when you're posting, they forgot that you posted. So you want to be able to keep on that schedule. You want to say, hey, I'm live every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. You know what? I can't make next Wednesday. I don't want to screw up my schedule. I still want that audience there. I'm going to post this video. You can upload it to Restream, set it, boom, you're live at 3 p.m. Nothing to worry about. And say you get a free moment in the calamity of what's ever keeping you away. You can pull up the chat and talk to your live chat right there. You could even jump in the Restream chat from any computer and reply to all your chats at the same time. So we really hope that this feature helps people continue their already growth that they're having with Restream. And we hope that it allows them to keep that schedule consistent.
I can definitely see how a lot of different users would absolutely love that. You know, that as a feature, and being able to actually then use it. And you say some of these features that you guys have and you guys have worked on, and it's a tech issue as much as just the user saying, look, hey, I'd like to be able to do this. And you guys listen to your community and kind of probably go back into your meetings and go, okay, how can we build this? Like, you know, I mean, that's probably almost you know, in a very simplistic way, that's how you guys connect it. You know, and one of the things that we've seen is that as the live streaming community, as they continue to do whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's, you know, bringing in callers and, you know, having multiple guests or doing panels or group discussions or being able to work with green screens and, you know, gaming and bringing in outside source. I mean, there's so much to be able to do, and Restream, I know, is able to, you know, to handle that. And I love the fact that, you know, you were talking about some of the features that you guys have rolled out is that monitor feature. And that's, I'm sure that the uptake for that is kind of hard for some people. Like it's like info overload. But I did a little bit of kind of looking around, and over on Restream, if you click on the blog, they actually have one blog post over on Medium that does a real, like, I sat through it and I was like, I really enjoyed actually reading that. Like, it was detailed. It took me a little bit to get through it, but even just like reread and go, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. I see what they're saying, because it's not just jargon, but it's actually, no, this is, if this happens, then you need to check this, this, and this. And I really appreciate it. So whoever actually wrote that, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll be sharing that out later.
Honestly, it was something that I didn't actually know that we were doing. It was released in one of our private channels on Slack, and like they were just like, oh, we just finished writing this log, and I believe it was our CEO Alex who wrote it, and he probably had some help from some other people who helped write it with him. But unbelievable amount of detail that went into that. I remember reading through it, and a lot of it, because I've been trained in this field, a lot of it was a refresher for me. But of a lot of it, and even if it is a refresher for you, I suggest you go read it, because practice makes perfect. So being able to refresh that data helps to keep it fresh in your mind. But honestly, that just shows you that what we're really trying to do here is not just about multi-streaming. It's about helping streamers grow. Because multi-streaming isn't just about getting to every channel. In fact, what we're trying to do is, it's not about getting to the channel. It's no longer about like this service. It's no longer about this service. It's about you. You are the creator. This is your content. And we just want to help you get it to the users that are going to enjoy your content.
As we're about at the halfway mark, and I wanted to give you a chance in just a minute to tell everybody how to be more involved, or how to be able to connect and be able to use Restream, for their live stream or broadcasting needs. But I do want to bring up that, on the Periscope, there's a ton of questions and stuff like this. And it's like, I mean, they're going crazy. This is awesome. But one of the big things that they're kind of talking about, and I don't necessarily think that we're going to directly talk about it in this show, but it's a really good question to be thinking about. It's, because I think the majority of your users do, they do go broadcasting into Twitch, and there's a lot of different kinds of rules. There's a lot of different kinds of, as Twitch is growing, and they're really becoming quite a force to be reckoned with in the streaming world. And And they've got a lot of different different rules, and they're trying to, I'm sure, promote their own brand. How is Restream trying to work within those rules, or is that something that's like, no, our service is pretty much as is, or are there some different dynamics that we have to think about when we're streaming to specifically a platform like Twitch?
Well, honestly, when you're streaming to a platform like Twitch, and you're using Restream, it's always important to make sure that you understand the TOS of the services that you're streaming to. It's 100% that you understand this, because if your channel gets banned because you've chosen to multi-stream, it's a hassle to get it back. And I'm not saying that platforms outright ban multi-streaming. In fact, most platforms are 100% supportive of it. But Twitch, as a lot of you do know, has an exclusivity if you are a Twitch affiliate. So that leaves a 24-hour exclusivity, which a lot of our users have expressed that they're a little concerned about, because they like reaching with their audience. So that's exactly why we prioritize this Restream schedule feature, because like I said, we're trying to help our users. We don't want them to not be able to reach their audience anymore. So with having this scheduler, they can upload their broadcasts, meet any exclusivity rights, no matter what platform has the exclusivity rights. If you, I know there's contracts involved with being partners on certain channels. So we're really hoping that this still allows you to reach the audience that you would have been able to reach otherwise. And we're definitely working on things to just help streamers in general, whether it be helping them get in front of their audience, helping them find ways to earn money, helping them with if we can find sponsorships. Like, it's definitely something that we're really concerned about, and we're really working hard, because at the end of the day, it's all about the users and their viewers.
Real quick, because we are almost on question 4. I did say I was going to give you a chance to talk more about Restream, and how, if people are interested, and how can they try out your service, or just be able to use it and see if it's right for them? What's the best way for them to be able to do that?
So the best way to be able to do that is just jump onto restream.io, create an account, and start streaming. It couldn't be easier, and there's no better time than now. You can, before this, unless you have a computer that can handle it, before this, you're probably just streaming to one channel. Come over to Restream and just experience what it's like to stream to 2 channels. There's no additional bandwidth needed on your end. There's no CPU usage, and there's 90% of the time there's no price. We have 30+ channels that you can add. And you can stream to all 30 of them at once. We literally have people who do stream to all 30 channels at once. In fact, we have a user currently who streams to 175 channels at once. He doubles up a lot of YouTube channels, but it's definitely possible. And I honestly believe that if you come and try it out, you'll love it, because as soon as you start interacting with audience and you see, like, I only have 2 viewers on Twitch, and 3 viewers on Mixer, and 5 viewers on YouTube, and 6 viewers on Periscope. Oh, well, I have 30 viewers, and they're all different. They're all chatting, and our chat brings it all together for you to be able to feel like you're just streaming to one platform. There's no hassle involved.
Awesome. And as we kind of, as we're kind of moving through, if you guys go over, if you do want, if you do want to be able to sign up and try it out, and I believe, and I saw it up on the screen before, I do believe that if you want to, you can use the code RestreamLove to get 35% off.
Yeah, so specifically for the viewers who are watching this podcast, we've created a coupon code called RestreamLove, all capitals, all one word. It'll automatically make it capitals when you type it in. Type in that code, you get 35% off your first month on any of our paid services.
Awesome. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for our audience, everybody that's watching. So
you're welcome.
If you guys haven't already and you want to try it out, that's the way to start. That's the way to get going. Hey, let's hop right into question number 4. Question number 4, it's besides live streamers, and I know that, we're all talking to live streamers here, but besides live streamers, who can actually use Restream? Do you have any ideas on that?
So I actually jumped into a call with our CEO just before this podcast to talk a little bit about this exact question. And the reason why I did that is because 90% of the people who jump into our live support are live streamers, gamers. They usually are streaming on a platform already and they've come over. But we actually get a lot of emails behind the scenes, and we're talking from people like presidential candidates, comedians, musicians, game publishers, bloggers, and especially churches really, really love our service because if we just want to touch specifically on churches, just to use it as an example, churches have a message and they want to give it out to their congregation, but it's not always possible for their whole congregation to meet every single day of the week that they specify. So with multi-streaming, they're able to send that, say, out to their own personal custom RTMP onto their website. They're able to send it out to YouTube. They're able to send it to Periscope. And we've actually seen a really high return in things like this, where you have a church that was originally giving, originally only going to maybe 15 or 20 people who are in the congregation, and now suddenly they're going to 15,000 people because they're giving a message that people are interested in. And we've also seen it with other companies and brands, such as Discovery recently actually used multi-streaming with Restream to stream the solar eclipse. So even historic events are able to be streamed multi-streaming, and it really takes out the research and development when it comes to streaming. And I'm sure you guys are really familiar with this with marketing. When you're going to set your stream, you have to research the service that you're on, and you have to really look at all these services and figure out, you know, what's the best service for me? Is Periscope the best service for me to stream on? Is Facebook the best? And it can be really time consuming to research all that data and then have to run your own test. Like, I'm going to stream to Facebook. Let's see how it does. I did that for a week. Okay, let's try Twitter. Okay, that wasn't that great. Let's try Twitch. Let's try this. With multi-streaming, hit all those targets at the same time, and you'll know exactly where your best platform is and where to focus your efforts. And a lot of people find that 2, 3, even 4 platforms all but end up performing the best. And with our Pro plan, it's as easy as just shutting off the channel. Like, if you have been streaming to Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube for the past 2 hours, and YouTube's getting no views at all, you can just turn it off. And now you know that that's not something that you want to stream to. So by providing that, it really helps these brands, it really helps them bring down and focus on just sharing their event, sharing their content, and not having to worry about sharing all this other and not having to worry about researching all these platforms to figure out which is the best.
Right. So I'm seeing that, you know, that Restream as a service, that the concept is really, it's very basic. I mean, you know, it's a very simple, it's straightforward. Get your broadcast and put it into different channels at the same time, and it doesn't screw up. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't mess up and take up a whole bunch of extra space and time on your machine. That's the basic concept. But with you guys, you know, you've added, you know, the scheduler, and so now, you know, podcasters can use that. You've got the chat integration now. But one of the questions that from the Periscope, they were actually just quick asking, it's like, is there any way that viewers from different platforms are going to be able to see each other's chat? Because from the broadcaster side, it's an aggregate. It brings many into one, but that doesn't reciprocate, does it?
So what we've done with our chat application, which is downloadable for Windows, is we've actually integrated a sort of bot feature where we actually use your connected account. So if you've logged into YouTube and then you've connected to our chat app, and say you have Twitch and YouTube connected, you can turn on what we call the relay bot. So what the relay bot will do is, if somebody messages your Twitch channel, we'll take that message, take their username, and send it over to your YouTube channel, and their name will be in brackets plus their message. So that way, and it's actually really amazing. I've actually been in channels where you see people, like, there's 2 users on Twitch who are talking with the moderator on Mixer, and then suddenly somebody from YouTube chimes in, and they're all having this conversation while all being on different platforms. And this is definitely something that we actually want to bring to our web chat as well. So currently we have a web chat. It's pretty good. It relays all your messages, but we're actually rebuilding the entire web chat from the ground up. We want to make it faster, more reliable. We want to because there's some limits with the YouTube API on how many times you can ping them and ask them like, hey, is there any more comments? So when you're having 1,000 messages a second, that's actually over the API limit. So it's really hard working with, 30 different channels, all their different APIs. And we really want to make our web chat really the best utilization of that. And we're working crazy hard. We've released our beta for the Discord users. If you do want to try the web chat beta, just jump in our Discord. It's in the announcement channel. But really, in fact, I asked you to try the beta because when you guys try the beta, you provide us the feedback that we need to make it even better, succeeding your ideas of what it could be.
One of the things that I had wanted to bring up is, as you know, we talked about the features, we've talked about people and how they can differently use it. And, and again, they're asking in the chat, on the Periscope and things like this, they're asking like all these different questions. And I really could see how, having that aggregated chat feature works as a, that's that tool to bring them together. And also honestly, on the fact that you're actually listening to your community. So if not anything, just, huge kudos to you guys for doing that.
Thanks. It's
I'd like
a
to
huge
step away
part.
then. I'd like to step away from the end user, single broadcaster type. I'd like to ask you what you guys think about is, when it comes to like, how should brands and maybe businesses as a more of a formal approach rather than the individual. But I'd like to step away and just say, how should brands be using multi-streaming services?
So it's a really great question because a lot of brands are getting into multi-streaming and getting into live streaming as a whole. Because live streaming in general, it's a powerful and it's a modern way to grow communities and to reach your community. Live streaming allows you to connect with users on a level that previously wasn't possible. And I mentioned this a bit earlier when I was a live streamer. Going from creating YouTube content to jumping in the live stream and having that live conversation with your user is something that's amazing. And honestly, it's really building on what Twitter has done. Twitter took the industry by storm because they created a fast, instant way to interact with brands on a personal level, a level that before that was impossible unless you want to wait on hold for a call center for an hour or you want to sit through 6 email chains to try and get a hold of them. So Twitter really, really popularized that idea, and live streaming is just taking it to the next level. Instead of having just that text communication back and forth, they're sitting there talking to the person live, just like now. You're sitting here, in retrospect, talking to a brand, Restream, and the users in your Periscope chat are able to instantly ask us questions and get an in-depth site that beforehand wouldn't have been possible. Now, as I was saying earlier, brands do a lot of research and development into what channels are the best channels. Should we stream to YouTube? Should we stream to this, that, this? And a lot of brands end up coming to the conclusion that, you know what, I don't want to just stream to this one channel. I want to stream to all the channels because I don't want to say on Twitter, join us here at this time, at this place. They want to tweet out, hey, search this on your favorite streaming platform and join our stream. Or they want to just have it there so they can come to the top of the lists or through organic growth in general. So this really allows brands to connect with their entire audience in a way that before would have just been solely text communications.
I really like that the approach to live streaming and multi-streaming specifically that Restream is taking. It is on what serves the needs, not you come to me and you fit my own product and that's the way it is. It's like like the deal with it. I really like that because I think a lot of brands they're trying to make this shift outwardly in the storytelling and the content creation that they're doing. They're trying to make content that is able to be broadcast and then received in a live format so that you get, what's a better way to get feedback from any kind of an audience? It could be the release of a new product, a game, a new movie. What's a better way to gauge somebody's reaction if you are live streaming a trailer and you get to see people are like, I hate that, or that's probably the best thing I've ever seen. Look at this. Like, I can't wait for this. Like, you're getting immediate reactions from people. And there is almost nothing better in the marketing world or just in the, in that product development side. It's like, oh, people actually like this. They like this feature. They like this product. They like what I'm creating. That's what we love about live streaming. And, brands are starting to get a hold of that. They're starting to really get it. And so, that's why one of the reasons why I really like a lot of the features that you guys have and the innovation that you guys are trying to bring to the industry. It's just not simply just going, well, we have a service, buy it or not.
Exactly. Our main goal at the end of the day is making sure the users that use our platform and the brands that find and use our platform are properly supported and have all the tools necessary to make the best content they can and share it with the widest audience they can. Recently, we even released a brand new addition to our website based on popular request. You can go to restream.io/customers, and you can see real reviews from Team Coco, G2 Esports, and even the Discovery Channel of the review of using our platform and how it helped them to succeed and how it helped them to overcome the difficulties of narrowing down where the content should go and just easily the content being going everywhere.
One of the comments that I'm loving from longtime listener Sabrina Cadini, and she has her own broadcast show. She broadcasts out through Periscope. She says, I'm on the fence regarding multi-streaming. And she continues on. My audience feels less important. She feels with, and I know it's in regards to when you multi-stream, it's harder. And we have a number. Frameable Faces is another one. They have a regular broadcast where they go live, and they only go live to one place because they want to be able to interact with with exactly who's live. They want to keep their eyes on it. And I think a lot of the tech that you guys are trying to put into it is just really it's answering that question. The reason why I bring up those two examples is they're both business brands. Frameable Faces, they're a small business, and they do photography. As well as Sabrina, she does a lot of event planning, and so she's used to dealing with a lot of people and talking and interacting, and so you guys are trying to answer a lot of those questions. How do people like that? How are they able to take their broadcasts with what they're used to and take it to maybe and add more viewers in different places? How do you aggregate it? And I really appreciate you guys are answering that question quite clearly, I think.
Thank you.
Question number 6, and by the way, if you guys have not already been able to follow us yet on Twitter, Randy, you've been live. I'm going to give you some credit here. You've been live tweeting out today. I appreciate it. I've been seeing it, and we've been trying to retweet it out from the Let's Livestream account on Twitter. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go back through, follow, because his answers are really great, and he's taken some time to kind of put those out in Twitter land and to make it more accessible. As they're kind of going through. And question number 6, though, let's bring that up. And this is probably the worst question out of all of them. I've taken time to craft 6 increasingly awful questions, and I think this is probably the hardest one to put out there. Question number 6, though, is what's the future of multi-streaming? Randy, I don't even want to touch this one. This is all you, man.
It's all me, and it definitely was a topic of conversation ever since you got this. Ever since I got the list of questions, it was a topic of conversation within our Slack. And honestly, we believe the future of live streaming is coming. And what we think about the future of live streaming is we think it's going to, and we know it's going to be the end of TV and the end of television as a whole. We've seen a steady decline in television and television shows over the past 10 years, ever since the internet became a thing. We watched Blockbuster crash and Netflix take over and rise from its ashes. And it just shows that live streaming is the new thing, whether it be live streaming your own content or watching live stream or like streaming content through Netflix and other providers such as Hulu Plus. And honestly, the list just goes on and on and on. And in the same sense that a TV show will be reaching us in the future, and as it is now through streaming, Netflix and Hulu, we provide the ability for these individual creators, people who don't have these whole crews, or maybe just a small crew like the live stream, like you guys, Let's Live Stream. We're really providing people just like you making the same content the ability to go live on multiple channels, and we really feel like that is where the future of live streaming is coming. It's moving away from, or just the future of content consumption in general. It's moving away from TVs, it's moving away from cables, and it's joining the internet, and it's joining the streaming. And it's overwhelming to see the amount of creators who are also jumping onto live streaming and also jumping into creating podcasts, creating shows. Like I've seen actual people who do cooking shows, who do how to fix your car shows, mechanics. We've seen all these people stream through Restream, and it's amazing. I mean, honestly, what's better than a how-to video on YouTube? Well, let me tell you, a live stream of that how-to where you can ask and he can go, oh, well, this cup, well, if you look right here, what? That's something that can't happen on a video. So it's definitely something that we feel really passionate about, and a lot of creators do too. It's that live content, that human interaction that has been disappearing over the past couple of years is coming back in full force.
I absolutely agree. And I think you hit right on the sentiment that what Sabrina was talking about in the chat, that she was bringing up, that she's like, it's the personal connection.
Exactly.
It really is. I mean, it's one thing to have great setup and camera and lights and be able to switch and, you know, and bring in live tweets. That's all great. It really is. Like it doesn't mean that it's not. But if you're trying to do a show in a or a broadcast where it's maybe some kind of education or informational, or just you know, trying to share something, and you can get live feedback from people and they ask questions. I mean, we've already had people direct messaging us both on Facebook and on Twitter. They're messaging, you know, they're leaving their questions, you know, in the Periscope. And if it wasn't for the ability to be able to use all that tech, guys, it would just be a show. We might as well just film it, cut it, and then release it just later. But with live stream, you get to do it in the moment. And I really think that the tools to be able to bring from the moment of broadcast to that moment of the user being able to then see it, when the closer we bring that, I think that's where the future of live streaming, and then particularly multi-streaming, bringing it from multiple sites, I think that's where it's going. It's what can we do now that I can connect with Randy with what you guys are doing and broadcasting anytime that you go live. I think that's where we're going. We're seeing it. I'm trying to catch up on a lot of everybody's comments. I don't know if you've been able to watch.
I've been seeing it's going nuts.
It's like going crazy, and I love it. And I love the fact that you know, that we're able to actually, I can go back and I can see all the old comments. I'm trying to, you guys are crazy with the amount of scrolling I have to do to be able to do that. Like I can't even do it. I can't even catch up further back. But this is a part of our show where, guys, it's I'm gonna do it too for one. Randy, I just want to give you a minute here or so. What are your final thoughts? And while we're doing that, guys, if you guys have questions, if you're watching us live and you do have questions, you can put it into Periscope, you can put it into Facebook, you can drop it into Twitter too, and we'll try to see if we can grab those too. But Randy, final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts are, you know what, this live podcast has been amazing. It's been awesome. It's been great sitting down with Jonathan. It's been great meeting Jen. And really talking about multi-streaming, because honestly, it's something that, and I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm passionate about. The whole team at Restream is incredibly passionate about multi-streaming and incredibly passionate about our user base. And you know what? Just because this podcast ends, as I've heard you say in other podcasts, That's not where the conversation ends. We have our Discord, we have our Twitter, we have our live chat. We're here to help you guys succeed in multi-streaming. That's what makes us happy. That's why we're doing this. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you're thinking, you know what, I just watched this podcast and now I want to multi-stream, but I have no idea where to start, jump in our live chat on Intercom or jump over on our Discord, and honestly, you'll find the support that you need to become a great multi-streamer, or as we call it, a restreamer.
I love it. I love it. You guys just took the, and I see what you did there. I like that.
We stole it.
You guys really did hit it. I think right on the nose today. I think you guys know your audience. I think you guys know what it is, and you put steps in place so that you can anticipate what it is that they're going to need as they're asking for it. And so really kudos to you guys. I really appreciate it. And you know, Randy, this has been a really great chance to literally put a face to the name. You know, both you personally as well as just getting to know Restream and the community that's involved there, because you know, I think that the more that we're able to connect and be able to, like I said, you know, reducing that space, shrinking the space between broadcast and, you know, and viewer, I really do think it's going to be that's the future, and that's really where we're going to go with this. And I didn't see a lot of extra questions, but honestly, this is par for the course. They ask after we finish the broadcast. So with that, guys, what I will say this, guys, everybody that's been watching us on Periscope, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I can't emphasize that enough. Just subscribe. I mean, it's so easy. And as a matter of fact, I don't know, Randy, if you know this, we've actually made it so that it's free. You don't even have to pay to subscribe. We've done that. We
sold. I'm 7.
We made some things happen. But if you guys haven't, you guys can subscribe. If you guys are watching us on a replay, subscribe on YouTube or Periscope or Facebook, whatever your flavor is. We're going to be there. Guys, next week, we have a friend of mine, Todd Bergen from Todd.live. If you guys have not been able to follow him, he's a podcaster. He's a video caster. He's done quite a bit of things. And I wanted to pick his brain next week. And so next week at this time, well, actually next week at 3 o'clock, we're going to be bringing Todd on as our guest for Let's Livestream. And so this has really been a great episode this week. And if you guys would join us next week, you can go over to letslivestream.com, be able to sign up for our email, and you'll be able to get an update via your email or however it is that you guys want. So with that, guys, I'm going to close it up, the episode. Remember that this is a live broadcast. This is Let's Livestream, a live stream Twitter chat about live streaming. The conversation doesn't end here. It goes on in between, and make sure you guys drop your comments, ask your questions, and make a new connection. Guys, with that, I'm just going to say I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.